Welcome, everybody. I'm Mel McIntyre. I am here with a lot of the authors of the wonderful Awakened Leaders, which we launched today. And I'd just like to take a moment to thank every single person who has already bought the book. You are looking at a collective of best-selling authors thanks to your generosity. So thank you very much. Congratulations, everybody. We wanted to take the opportunity to talk a little bit. We wanted to take the opportunity to talk to you and just share a little about really the essence of the book, why we wanted to write a book like this, and each person is going to just share a little bit about, perhaps their process or how it felt. We ran one of these sessions earlier on today, and one of the things that we talked about was lots of us out there have this sense, this sensation that we have a book in us, that we have, like, we'd love to write more. And I know some of you already do write. So we talked earlier about if you're out there thinking, wow, that's so cool. Mm-hmm. Maybe next time this could be you, right? I think it's great. It'd be great to hear from all of you as well at some point in the conversation about how you experienced the process and whether that's something you would recommend too. So first things first, let's just take a moment to do some introductions. So Gail, shall we start with you? Do you want to just give us a flavour of who you are?
Mm-hmm. So my name's Gail Partridge. I am, first of all, I'm a mum and a wife to Zoe, a wife to Paul. But I'm obviously a best-selling author now. My background is I'm a business coach and leadership expert, and I've always wanted to write a book, so this gave me the opportunity to get pen to paper, and it was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. So yeah, that's me.
And that is truly wonderful to hear. We had some giggles earlier on because Beryl thought that it was 6,000 words that she needed to contribute. Didn't realise until deadline day that it was actually 3. So she had written double the words. So she had a bit of a different experience, perhaps not quite as easy as your experience, Gail. Wonderful, thank you. Robin, welcome. So it's morning time for you. Mm-hmm. So we've been we're pretty tired and buzzed. We've been at this for about 8 or 9 hours solid. Mm-hmm. So it's morning for you. Tell us who you are and a little bit about you, please.
Yes, thank you so much, Mel. My name is Robin Miles, and I am I live in California in the United States, and I am an executive coach and leadership development consultant. And my journey into kind of writing this chapter was something that was foreshadowed for me by other people. I've had run into people over the past year that says, oh my God, tell me when your book is going to come out. And I'm like, did I say that I was writing a book? Or did I say that I was contributing to a book? So when this opportunity came on, I thought, oh, well, maybe I just need to step into my purpose and actually do this. And so it's been a blast. It's been super exciting, super scary, and but also I'm super joyful about really actually getting this going. So thank you.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. I love that. I love how, that was written in the stars, people were telling you it was going to happen, and the way that we connected as well, Robin, right? We connected at an online event where we both had a mutual connection, the wonderful Dana Perlman. Hi, Dana, if you're watching. And it was just, I don't know, it just felt so synchronistic, didn't it? And I had already decided that the theme for the book was love in business, and you were doing a PhD in love as a leadership trait, a characteristic of the 21st century. And I was like, wait a minute, this all feels a bit too good to be true, right?
Exactly. exactly.
Really cool. Really cool.
Thank you.
Mel, Libby's saying she's in the she's backstage.
Okay. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Sorry, Libby and Mel. Sorry. I couldn't see you.
Thanks, Gail.
Hi.
Congratulations.
So we're just doing a little intro, and we're just beginning to kind of get into the swing of having a great informal chat about this wonderful creation, this wonderful book that we've birthed today, which is, in case you missed the memo, an international bestseller. Yay! Jen, tell us, Jen, surrounded by lemon cupcakes, tell us who you are, tell us a little bit about you. I know, I love it.
So hi, I'm Jennifer Lemon, and I've got my notes here in case I seize up with stage fright. But a bit like Gail and probably a lot of us, really, I've always wanted to write a book. It's been on my bucket list for ages. I am a writer. I've always been a writer. That's my thing. And so when I saw Mel sort of call out for, does anyone want to be part of this? I'm doing this amazing book. I was like, absolutely, this is it. This is my opportunity to do what I've always wanted to do. And I think it was less daunting as well, because we only had to write one chapter, and we knew that, Mel was going to look after us, and, she's our guardian. Well, she's my guardian angel. I've done a couple of her coaching courses before, so I just knew it was going to be amazing, and she'd put us in touch with loads of other inspirational women and a couple of the other ladies. We've done coaching courses before, so it's brilliant to sort of catch up with everybody. It's just been absolutely amazing. And today I've just been so overexcited, just like I haven't been able to concentrate on actual work. I've just been like, this is so
yeah. So we've spent the whole day just replying to messages. And it's just been such a great buzz, right? And to open and joy for you, it's really just getting started. So we're excited for what's to come for you. Thank you for sharing that, Jen. And I went for a walk with Charlie, my partner, and Maximilian, my little boy, who are here. They arrived today because we're in Edinburgh. And I said, one of the coolest things for me about all of this, I might get emotional, is what I've seen happen with each of you, not just individually, but collectively. Mm-hmm. The connections and the relationships and the support. And just that, like you say, that I knew something magical would happen, and I knew it was a mystery that wasn't something that I could influence or control, that had its own life force, which was, what will the collective essence of us coming together create? And today has been the culmination of that, and that's just a really special thing as well, to feel, just to be part of that. Mm-hmm. So, I am very grateful to each of you, right, for having the courage to step forward and step in and share your voice, because, maybe that's something we'll talk about. That can feel pretty vulnerable, right? It can feel pretty scary to do that. It was certainly my experience when I did my first co-authored book. But exactly like you said, because you're not on your own, that if you're having a wobble or you're not sure what to do or how to approach something, that, you've got other people there to lean on and lean into. And actually, that's kind of what the essence of the book is about too, isn't it? Mm-hmm. That we want, it is about connection. It is about love. It's about collaboration. It's about doing business and living life in a way that is really grounded in goodness. And I think the way that we've created and delivered this really role models and represents that. So that's pretty cool, right? Yeah. Yeah, wonderful. Joy, do you want to share a little bit with us, my love, about who you are, and just anything else that you want to share right now about your process?
Sure. So I am a neonatal nurse practitioner by career, and I've also, just like pretty much everybody else, had these things in me that needed to get down on paper. But one thing you said just now actually really touched on something I was thinking I wanted to say, and that is that when I actually held that book in my hand and saw my words out there for anyone to see, all of a sudden I felt extremely vulnerable. Extremely vulnerable. I had not expected that. I was like, wait, let me close this for a minute. It's just, it really was an exhilarating, scary experience, but the process of it was not. The process of it was, I mean, to crank out 3,000 words, like I think most of us can probably do that in, in our sleep, but then to just let it all pour out, and maybe make a few tweaks and go, here it is, and then that's it. Like, then there's no turning back. And then to see it, it is very exciting, but then it also makes you kind of take a hard look at what have I written, and what is all this. But it's very honest that way. It's very, very honest, and this has been just a fantastic experience. I don't even have, I usually have words for everything. I don't even have words.
And what's really wonderful is, we're really only just getting started, right? This is just day one of our book being out there in the world. And that's a beautiful, magical thing. And we talked in our session earlier, and I know I've talked to each of you about legacy and the ripple effect and, the difference that we want to make in the world. And now there is a really tangible legacy, an asset, a creation that enables you to do that in such a significant way. I mean, that's just so cool, right? How do you all feel about that?
Yeah, great.
Amazing. Libby,
I don't think it's actually hit me yet, to be honest. I don't think. I've been working on my own all day, so I've just been kind of watching the updates and stuff,
So Gail messaged me a few weeks ago. She said, Mel, I've got the chance for, to do some work on the day of the book launch. What do you think I should do? I said, well, you can, but if I was you, I would just honestly clear the decks and just kind of be there for it, because it is a really intense day, emotionally intense, and also just trying to stay on top of people's wishes, right? The messages, and I've already had people who I don't know comment to say, wow, this book is incredible. They've bought it and they've started reading it. We've already had a 5-star review. It's insane, right? Yeah. Libby, I'd love to hear from you, my dear. Jet lagged, just back from Alaska. How are you feeling?
Yeah, just back from Alaska. I don't know what way's up yet, Mel, but it's what a way to wake up. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. What a joy. The whole process has been an absolute joy, I have to say. The invitation from you, Mel, I've worked with you for about a year now, over a year, and loved every minute of it. And this just came naturally as a result of that. So the chance to share and condense, as you're saying, Joy, into 3,000 words, you condense into a short number of words what you want to impart to other people, what you would love them to know. It's a huge opportunity. I loved the writing process, and it happened quite quickly for me. It all just kind of like downloaded. I've written a few other books, so I just love the process anyway. It really, it's my kind of flow space. But and then to have also, I would say, to be with all of you other amazing women who are doing things in your field and having the ripple effect that you're having, and actually making the changes that we so need in the business world today. It's just an honor to be part of that with everybody here. So I'm delighted. It's the first time I can ever use the word bestseller in relation to to anything I've written. So I'm really delighted with that as well. So
isn't that amazing?
It's amazing. The whole process has been fantastic.
And let's take a moment as well. She's not here right now, but we absolutely have to take a moment to honour Dina as well. Dina Berman, who is the founder of Inspired World Publishing, who has been the absolute glue that holds all of this together, who has really taken our essence and creativity and, you know, and given us process to come up with something that's really beautiful, and guided me through the process of leading the book, and ultimately has really ran this great campaign as well, and guided us to know how to get great visibility for the book, and of course hit bestseller status. So Dina, we love you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dina. And
Yeah.
also, you know, the fact that the proceeds are going to an amazing charity,
Yes.
like Women for Women International, is that just adds an extra element of it just feels very right.
You know what's great about that? There's so many things great about that, but it makes it really easy to do exactly this. If you don't have your copy, please buy it now. Why don't you have your copy? If you haven't got it already. Now, we did actually have a little bit of a glitch in the matrix with Amazon, and the price wasn't quite right. So hopefully that will have been rectified by now. But the paperback copy should retail for about $10, about £10. The ebook is available immediately, and that is only 99p or 99 cents. All profits and proceeds are going to Women for Women International. They are a long-established charity. I've supported them for years, and they really they develop leadership programs, and they support women in conflict afflicted and developing countries to develop leadership skills, so that they're able to lead themselves and their families and their communities out of really difficult, challenging situations. And so it felt, you know, it just feels so beautifully aligned, again, with each of us, with the essence of the book, that we are able to support them in that way. And they're very grateful. I've had some communication with them this week. They're very grateful for all the support that we are offering to them. So thank you for mentioning that, Libby. It's definitely really important. Great. Oh, I think you're on mute. Are you on mute?
Sorry. Just again, a huge thanks to everyone who's bought the book already. It's thank you. And tell your friends. Yeah.
I know we had bestseller in a category in Australia, and I think now, who was it? Mel, you're the person who's got the connection in Australia. So clearly, so do you want to say hello, Mel?
Hi. Yeah, that was pretty cool seeing that. Hi everyone. Yes, my name's Mel. I'm a speech and language therapist, and I just want to echo everything that everyone said today. And I guess a huge part of my book and my learning experience over the last 4 years was really understanding our evolution and where we've come from as humans, and the bonobo sisterhood, so a sisterhood where we all work together, and cooperation and collaboration is really important to me. So it's amazing that we are able to reach out to our sisters across the world. So I'm really grateful for that. But yeah, in terms of writing the book, well, I mean, I started working with Mel 4 years ago in the middle of COVID, and I had no idea I had a business in me, let alone a book. So it's been a wild journey. So I'm very, very grateful. Amazing. And been in floods of tears all day. And I shared with some people yesterday that the whole reason I got into women's coaching and looking for something different was because my grandmother passed away at the beginning of the lockdown, and I suddenly thought something needs to change, and I used her inheritance money to help me fund going into women's coaching, and it's obviously completely transformed my life, as you will know from the book. So I'm really, really grateful to my gran.
Yes, I am grateful to your gran. You know, we've talked about it a little bit, but some of you were, I had no clue what I was doing when I launched that program, Becoming Wildly Authentic. It was literally the most vulnerable I've ever been in my life. Joy, Jen, Mel, each of you stepped into to a journey on that with me in the program as clients. And, you know, you changed my trajectory completely as well, because I'd never done anything like that before. I'd never tried to do anything like that before. And I think, I mean, it's just such a beautiful story. And for you all to be here too, for all of you to be here, you know, it's so meaningful for me, because I've had the honor of witnessing all of your evolution, you know, to kind of become these women, and I get to help you be more visible and your voices be heard, you know, more widely in the world. And I can't even begin to explain what that means to me. So thank you all. And also, Mel, such a cool story, right? Mel was in Costa Rica a couple of months ago and met this really amazing woman who was Australian, right? And so she kept messaging you this week, right? When's the book coming, Mel? When's the book coming, Mel? So clearly she has been spreading that far and wide in Australia. So can we take a moment to thank her too? Because that's quite amazing, right? Quite amazing. Wonderful. So what, you know, what other, I think a lot of you have talked about how you found the process. What would your advice be to anyone that might be thinking, you know, maybe I'd love to do that one day? You know, is there any advice that you would give to people who might also feel that urge that you've talked about? Yeah, Joy.
Do it right now. Do it scared. Do it scared. Do it right now. Don't hesitate. Just write it. Write a little bit every day, and just don't just move the whatever is in your way. Just move it out of the way and just do it immediately.
Just start to write. And sometimes I think you don't even need to know, you don't even need to know what you're writing or why you're writing it. It's about letting the pen move, isn't it? Or letting the fingers be moved by something. The way I used to describe it. And actually, I started to do this when I wrote the program that we've been talking about, Becoming Mildly Authentic, because I had no childcare. You know, it was the start of lockdown. I had this baby, and I just had this whisper. I needed to help women become wildly authentic. I had no idea what that meant. So I would get up early before he woke up, and I would just let my heart come out my fingertips, and I would just create and write. And it turned into this really beautiful thing. And if I had tried to work it out, or, you know, it just wouldn't have happened. I mean, don't get me wrong, there were moments when I did that, but it's about just allowing yourself to be in flow, which is what we talk about a lot in your chapter. And like you say, just having the courage to start without really feeling ready, right? I think, do you all agree? Like, what else would you add to that?
I would say what you said earlier, Joy. You're going to feel vulnerable, and that's okay. Like, it's okay. And actually, people connect with that. If you try and damp that down or say what you think people want to hear, it won't be authentically yours. So be prepared to feel that vulnerability and allow that to be okay, because that's when you're really speaking from your heart. And I think that's what people enjoy reading. You know?
Yeah. And again, isn't that what we're saying in the book? Like, let's just lead from the heart. Let's speak from the heart. You know, love is the most ancient life force. Without it, none of us would be here. And somehow it's become something that's almost like optional or not credible or an add-on or woo-woo. It's like, it's the most fundamental life force that has ever existed. If that's not to exist, exactly. And if that's you know, if that's not right, if that's not the right path, then what is? You know? Yeah. Thank you for that.
I think there's something else about the whole vulnerability bit as well, because that was after I had written my chapter, and I just, for anybody that wants to write a book, as the girls have said, just go for it, because I was so surprised that when I started writing, how quickly I wrote the chapter. And I just sent it away. I didn't even read it, which is a bit scary. But after doing it and committing it to print kind of thing, I then started to think about, I've been quite vulnerable. And there's a couple of things in there that about me and about experiences that I've had with people who have been my leaders, that I first of all was thinking, oh God, what if that person reads that and recognises themselves? And today, I am hoping that person does read it and recognise themselves. You know, so I think there is, it's the vulnerability, but almost like, you know, my mum and dad read the book this morning, right? So I sent Mel one of the messages that my mum sent me.
Oh my God.
Well, I've got another one my dad sent me, right? But
do you want to share it? You can share
I'll
it.
share it. I've tried it without crying because
try your hardest. If not, I'll do it.
We've had a bit of a rocky 6 months with illnesses with mum and dad and stuff. So my dad, this made me laugh more than cry. Fantastic, Gail. I'm so proud of you. I didn't know what your job was, but now I know. And I know why you love your career. With your wonderful daughter, Paul, and your precious mum by your side, you can only go from strength to strength. Love, Dad. And I thought, you know, one of the things I talk about in my chapter is how they've always been so proud of me. And it was just things like that. It was lovely to see. My poor husband's ill today and he's trying his best to say, it's really good, it's really good. But you know, it's just that thing, you put everything out there and then you think, oh,
yeah,
what if, you know? But I'm so pleased to have now. And I think if we can do anything by writing, and if anybody can do anything by writing that other people can maybe recognise a bit of themselves in as well and get some either comfort or strength or whatever it might be, then we can only be doing good. So I think it was just that whole, for me, it's always about an expression of love anyway, as most of you know.
That's so funny, and everyone, you know, I think everyone resonates with that, because I don't, until recently, when I started to write, I don't think people really fully understood what I did either, you know. And to be fair, there's been times when I've not really understood it either. You know, because it feels, we talk about caterpillar soup, and in fact, Mel, you talk about that in your chapter. Sometimes you're in this evolutionary kind of growth spurt where you're like, oh my God, I know I'm not that anymore, but I've no idea what I am or what I'm going to be, and that takes so much courage to lean into, to actually allowing that to happen, doesn't it? And I think, again, this book is really about encouraging people that if you are feeling disillusioned, and so many people out there think, you know, they look around and it doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel good, but they think perhaps they're a lone voice and it's too scary and vulnerable for them to speak up and want to do things differently and want to lead in a different way because they don't see it around them. And that's another vision we had for the book, right? Was that we could reach people and say, look, you're not alone. There is another way to do this. And here are some really, not just great stories, but really practical steps, things you can do, things you can learn, approaches that you can take, which will give you, you know, the support in order to do that. And it's worth mentioning as well that we want people that are touched by reading the book in each chapter. We want them to reach out, right? We'd love to hear what people think. We'd love to get some feedback. We'd love people to ask questions, perhaps, if they don't agree or don't understand, right? We welcome that dialogue as well, don't we? Because we don't want it to just be a static creation. We'd love it to be something that,
conversation.
Exactly, that stimulates change and stimulates conversation. Absolutely. Yeah. Great. Thank you so much, Gail. Are you going to read your mum's one? That made me really touched this morning.
Right, let me just read my mum's one. My mum and dad are going to be there tomorrow, by the way, everybody.
I know, wonderful. We're having a little party tomorrow in Edinburgh. Not everybody can make it, but it won't be the last time that we celebrate the book. For that I know for sure. But we're excited to see people.
My mother wrote, my wonderful daughter, absolutely brilliant, Gail. Every word is a picture of who you are. I cried and I'm still crying. I'm so proud of you, Gail, and so happy that I'm your mum.
Oh, bless.
Oh. Isn't that incredible? I mean, really, like, just so beautiful, and just so beautiful that you're able to give them that gift.
Yeah.
Knowing you in that way. Because like your dad said, I never really knew what you did, but he was proud. He didn't even need to know what you did to be proud, but now he gets to be proud because he knows what you do. And that's so cool, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, great. But I agree, like sharing it with family for me was the most vulnerable place. Like people who know you, right? I think that can feel the most vulnerable because you kind of worry more about the judgment there, don't you?
Mm.
I shared mine with my mum and dad before it went to print. I wanted their feedback. I was like, tell me what you think. Yeah, and they were cool.
So can I just jump in? I was just going to say I'm the same as everyone else, but when my daughter came back
I was going to ask you about Evelyn.
Yeah, she's like came back from her college induction today, and I was like, have a lemon cupcake, and and I need to take a photo of you eating the lemon cupcake. But I just said it's just weird to think that like people out there now are like reading, you know my business, and
it's surreal.
It's a bit sort of weird. But at the same time, it's quite empowering to think that actually, my story is out there, and it's a positive story. And I think, I have purposely, there are maybe a couple of little bits and pieces in there that might be a little bit tricky, but overall, I've sort of tried to keep it very sort of positive and more about, what I've been through rather than who did this and who did that. And to sort of say, well, I've been through these awful things. A lot of us have been through terrible things in our lives. I've been through these awful things, but I've come out the other side. And, and actually it sounds really strange, but I'm almost grateful for the terrible things that happened back then because of where I am now.
Exactly.
And the fact that
it's an empowering place to be, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And I mean, you Mel and Joy, you saw me back sort of 4 or 5 years ago when I was in absolute like ground zero mode. And, things have just changed so much in terms of, my relationship, my home, my work. And I think, that whole process has given me the confidence now to just kind of say it how it is and just be more real in all of those areas, in my relationships with everybody, family, friends, work. If I'm ill, I found now that because I have an illness which affects me, every month. And I think if I tell people, actually, I'm not feeling too good today, they'll be like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, and be empathetic rather than not saying, and then people thinking, well, what's up with
wrong with Jen today? Yeah, exactly.
And often other people have also got a similar thing, and then like there's another woman that I'm working with, and she's got a similar autoimmune condition, and so we're like, and she was like, oh my god, I have exactly the same. So then you can empathize and support each other. And I think by being more real as human beings, we're not robots, we're all human beings, and we've all got life going on. My thing is just bring it all. Do your work hard, but bring yourself, your whole being to work, to your relationships.
And giving people permission to do that through sharing your story and sharing your voice is exactly what it's about, because it is role modeling and that sense of seeing other people make those brave decisions and be more visible and be more honest and be more vulnerable is exactly how we change the world in the way that we all believe in, isn't it? That's how we do it.
I think exactly as you're saying, Jennifer, so my thing, there's lots of things, but I never ever say I suffered from mental illness, right? I always say I learned from it, right? It's just a thing I say. But I've always wanted, since that happened to me, when Zoe was a baby, and it was horrific. I've always wanted to use it to make a difference, and I've never really known how to do that, because it's a difficult one. It's a difficult one to find to find places to be able to share the story of postnatal depression and the impact it has on you. And I did have an opportunity once to share it with a group of people in the Scottish Parliament. And the amazing thing about it was, and I really hope that men read this book, the amazing thing about it was that men were saying to me, oh my God, that must be what's happening for my wife. And, you know, and I think we've all told stories from our feminine perspective, which is amazing anyway. But I really want men to read this book as well, because I think the understanding of why we are the way we are and why love is so important to us is oozing out of every page. So I really think, I really think it's a powerful thing we've offered them there.
Gail, I just think that's so important as a point. And I've been at quite a few lunches recently and a few talking, various discussion conversations that I've been in, like a lunch I was in recently at the Marketing Society and Women in Communication and Advertising Leadership. And the conversation comes up regularly about feminine leadership traits. And I turned at one point during the conversation because it can quite often slip into it's about female or male or LGBT plus, get it right. And it can be quite, in some ways, the conversation can become quite divisive quite quickly. And I turned to one of my colleagues at one of those lunches and I said, you know, I'm finding this so fascinating because as a empath female leader that was brought up by a single parent feminist father, I'm bemused and shocked by the conversation on an ongoing basis, because ultimately it's about a style and a way of leadership that changes the world, which is based on love and good intention, that is accessible to all and is available to all, and the way that we live our lives. And it doesn't have to be about women or men or anything else. It is about being a good human being and showing up in the right way and living our lives with the best of intentions that is for the good of all. And therefore it comes back to love, you know, and it's so important. And
and it wasn't intentional that it was only female contributing authors at all. It was just the way it happened. It really was, because there were some men that I spoke to about contributing chapters and the stars weren't aligning for them. Now, the perfect combination has occurred. There's no doubt in my mind about that. But it isn't about that. It's not, the whole point is it's not about us and them. It's not about this and that. It's about the universal leveler that is love, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's what it is. And Robin, you know, what would you add? You have such a rich perspective on love from your life and your studies. Is there anything you would add to the conversation? I'm sure there's lots you would add.
Oh my God, I'm just busting out over here. Well, I mean, I echo everything everyone said. I feel like, to your point, Mel, it's really about the human quality, right? These are characteristics that really we may have tamped down, especially in business arena, you know. We kind of have gone to the other side, you know, swung the pendulum to the other side, to where it wasn't, you know, rewarded to be human at work. It wasn't rewarded to be compassionate, to be caring, and to be heart-centered at work. For some reason, it was more valued to be ruthless and self-centered, and to be, you know, like just performative and not genuine, right? And I feel like what we're really putting into the center stage again is, no, that's really not the way to get the best results either. Work and out of your teams. You actually can, you know, I had someone pose a question to me and they said, wow, Robin, you know, I have managers saying that they don't feel that they can really hold people accountable if they lead with love. And I'm thinking, what are you saying? You can hold people even more accountable.
Yes, exactly.
You have built a trusting relationship. You have connected with them on a very human level, and you actually now can have the courage to actually say those things that may support them with actually bringing their excellence to work. you can do that. So I just feel that, you know, we are actually trailblazing, you know, the path for us to encourage all leaders, regardless of your gender, regardless of your orientation, regardless of your culture, to actually like dig in and really bring to the forefront and start to cultivate this very human quality of love that is very difficult to build. It's not easy. It's not easy having love at the forefront of your ethic, right? It takes work. It takes intention, and it also takes folks like us to hold each other accountable, right? So that when we see each other maybe kind of misstepping, we can like, Dr. Libby, what's going on here? Do you need to have that? Maybe we should go out for coffee, you know what I mean? So that we can all just, you know, abide by these principles. So I'm really excited about the impact that
Yes, Robin.
Wonderful. I mean, that is just such a brilliant way to encapsulate everything, right? And to weave. I talked earlier about each chapter and each of you having a unique thread, and this book is a way for us to weave that together, you know, as a contribution to the world, and everyone reading it also as a unique thread. And you know, we want, wouldn't it be wonderful if this is a way for us to create, I'm just going to add Beryl to the stage, create just a beautiful tapestry of a new way of operating, a new way of doing business, a new way of loving and leading. And Beryl, my love, lovely to see you again.
I know, sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. We're just, I was actually just about to kind of ask for any final contributions and wrap up. I think this has been such a really rich conversation. One thing I want to add is, and it's similar to Jennifer's point about her daughter, you know, when my son Maximilian saw my name on the book, he loves books. I said, Maxie, look at this book. And he's like, because he knows his name and he knows, he's like, Mommy, is that your name? I said, uh-huh. He's like, this is my book that I've created with lots of, like, our book that I've created with 9 other really amazing women. And he's like, wow, Mommy, that's so cool. And that sense of possibility, that sense of, I mean, that's something as a parent I try and instill in him, but actually it's something as a human that I try and instill in everyone that I work with. You all know that, right? Everyone that I touch, that I meet, is you're here for a reason. And it's such a sacred, unique reason to you. And the more you allow yourself to connect with that, to connect with your truth, your voice, your wisdom, and share that, which is exactly what this experience is really enabling you to do at a whole new level. The world is so thirsty for that. It's thirsty for your wisdom. It's hungry for your input, for your energy, for your love. Not just us in this room, but everyone that's watching this, everyone that's out there who may or may not be touched by this book. So please, if you haven't, buy the book, buy the ebook today, get your beautiful copy. We're already hit bestseller, which is absolutely amazing. And so I just want to open up the floor for any final, or just anything final that you might want to say, anything final that you might want to share with our amazing viewers. And again, thank you everyone who's already bought the book and contributed towards us making this thing real, right? Really happen. It's really happening. There's been a lot of those messages flying around today. Oh my God, it's really happening. So
I just want to say thank you, 3 thank yous. I'll keep it quick, but thank you, number 1, to all of you, as a lot. I've gone through this process. It's been like a big learning journey, and it's been scary and wonderful. So thank you. It's a total privilege to sit alongside you all. So thank you so much. thank you, secondly, to anyone that's bought the book. Yes. Amazing. Thank you so much to everybody that's bought the book today, and for the support as well. So if they haven't bought the book, people that are saying lovely things, that's hugely appreciated by all of us. So thank you, thank you.
Buy the book.
Bye. And my third thank you is to Mel and to Dina for bringing us together and making this happen. Without them, it wouldn't have happened. So thank you. That's my
thank you.
Final word.
Ladies, Beryl, I muted you, by the way, because there was a bit of noise in the background, but it doesn't mean to say I don't want you to talk, okay? I just need you to know that.
I think there's another thing.
I have to press twice.
Okay, perfect.
I think there's another thing that's really profound and honourable, I think, for me, is that we're now all linked, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
You know, and I think through your guidance and Dina's guidance, we've been able to create something that is, you know, that is
we feel proud of.
We're very proud of it. But I think there is now this connection between all of us, because we know how that feels, and we've been through that process together. So, and I'm really honoured to be part of this group. I've met some fantastic people going through this process. Some of you have been able to meet face to face, some of you haven't. But I think that, you know, we've created something that's going to bond us, and that's really special as well.
Mm-hmm. And I want to add to that, hey ladies, it's day one, we're only just getting started, right? There is a lot more to come. You ain't seen the last of us or Awakened Leaders. Great. Anyone else?
Can I just to say, echo everything, all the thanks, Rebecca, that you listed there, 100%. Also, thank you in advance to all the leaders who are going to do something about this.
Yes.
You know, they're actually going to take something from whatever resonates with them from our chapters and actually make those changes in their own lives, because that will have a powerful ripple effect in their place of work and with their families and society at large. So a huge thank you for that in advance, because it will help change things for the better.
Absolutely. And please, we don't want you to do it alone. We don't expect you to do it alone. We are here for you. Reach out to us. I've said it already, you know, whether that's all of us, whether that's the person whose chapter particularly touches you and resonates with you. You know, we want to have a coffee, a Zoom coffee, an online coffee. We want to have a conversation. We want to have a dialogue. We want to be able to serve you to step forward and be the leader that you want to be in the world, that's authentic and unique for you. So please, 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 you know, use us to support you and use us in any way that feels, you know, powerful and appropriate for you.
Yeah.
And Robin, I'm excited to go for a coffee with you to find out what it is you want to tell me.
Yeah. Ooh, great.
I know, we're only joking in the example.
We can discuss lemons between us.
Yeah, exactly.
Lemon. And can I just say, I want to very quickly echo all the other thanks, but I also just want to thank my mum and dad. When Gail was talking, that is really sort of, you know, I feel the same about my own parents, and, you know, they gave me my lemon spirit, and I'm very, very grateful to them. And I'm grateful, Mel, for you giving me the opportunity to sort of hand over the lemon baton legacy to my daughter, and sort of encapsulate all of that into that chapter, and sort of go, you know, that's what it's all about. So Thank you very much.
Love it. Amazing. Wonderful. Any other final thoughts, ladies?
Just bravo, everyone.
Yeah. Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Remember, everyone, we want you to buy this. Profits go to Women for Women International. We're so utterly grateful for you to be part of, for you, that you're part of this journey with us. We'd love to hear your questions. We'd love to hear your views, your comments, and we'd love you to buy the book. We'd love you to share it with your network. And yeah, you ain't seen the last of us. We're only just getting started. You're going to be seeing a lot more of us in the weeks and months to come. So thank you, authors. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Honestly, words can't really describe how, as I said, just how grateful I am that you said yes. Because I had to be vulnerable and say, do you want to do it? And take a lot of, you know, and be ready for no's as well, right? As well as the yeses.
Everyone hold up your book. I'm going to take a photo.
I've not got one.
Did you give it away?
No, I've got 10 sitting in the kitchen.
Oh, right.
But 2 are being read as we speak.
Wonderful. Oh, that's so cool. Great. Okay. Thank you so much for listening and watching, everyone. Whether you're live or catch up, we're grateful. And we will see you soon.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.